welcome to this episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue Podcast. We're going to do some Q&A today. It's me, Brett. I have Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C. Got Tanner. Matt was here, but he had to leave because he had things that were more important than us, I guess. First off, before we get going, we're talking about some of our partners with the program. We got EliteNutritionOmaha.com. They're giving discounts to our listeners too, I guess.
Yeah, both.
To our lifters, online orders, discount code is B3, the letter B, the number 3. Free shipping worldwide on orders over $50, which with that racket, it's easy. And if you go into the store and yell B3,
you get 10% off and a free shaker.
And a free Elite Nutrition shaker. May or may not leak. It's free. Who knows?
Yeah. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, exactly. We also have a partnership with the Rosewood Block Company. They make the best cutting boards in the barbecue world. And check them out, rosewoodblock.com. They make awesome boards, fully customizable. Basically, same discount code B3, the letter B, the number 3. So let's get started. We always put out some Q&A stuff to the dozens and dozens of fans that we have, and usually some of the dozens will comment back. One that I got in person, and I don't know how if you're watching on YouTube, is how big is Tanner's head really?
Have you guys seen those hats at Shields?
Yes. Have you seen the large hats of whatever team it is?
Husker team.
Yeah, Huskers here. Yeah,
the Huskers here. Yeah.
But it's got like a foam insert, and the fucking hat would fit like on a basketball. I think too small for Tanner.
Probably. So for most of my life, I have not been able to like choose my hat, and my hat chooses me. It's
I didn't choose this life.
Yeah, like I go to a store with 1,000 hats, and I put them all on, and like one fits. So that's the one. That's the one I can wear. But yeah, it's 8. I'm a solid 8 for a
You wear a
hat.
size 8?
Yeah. Got a lot of brain up here, bud.
What was that when we went to Nashville? We got those cowboy hats. Like, my head is like okay sized, but
I can't remember.
They had to stretch it to fit my fucking head.
So I have like when I have gone places where you have to wear like a helmet. You know, like ATV.
Oh, okay. I just like about like it's like a regular fucking day in your life.
You know, Walgreens.
Whenever my mom takes me somewhere.
I mean, it did not come out exactly the way I wanted to.
Field trips,
like your whitewater rafting or ATV or wherever. Like they'll like give me a helmet. I'm like, that ain't gonna fit. Like last time, I don't even know where we were at. They had to take all the like snap-on padding out of the helmet. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, they just figure your head's big enough you don't need one.
Yeah. So I actually own a helmet. So if I do have to go somewhere,
you take it with you.
I can take it with me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's big.
It's a big head, and it's like people don't believe me. Like, oh, it'll fit. I'm like, it is not fitting. Like,
I can vouch. At least he's like somewhat smart though. There's nothing worse than somebody fucking that's dumb with a big head.
Right.
That is such a letdown.
Now, I will tell you that at one point in time, I had gotten myself down to 185 pounds.
Oh, you're probably like a bobblehead. Did you tip forward?
It looked really funny because like my jaw like my face came in.
Yeah, did it match your little guy we have on the table here?
No, but it kind of looked like Tweety Bird. You know, it was so like part of my goal was I had to like be the size that my head didn't look that huge.
Yeah, and I have this tip for anybody out there with a massive head. Do a lot of shoulder work.
Yeah.
The bigger your shoulders are, the smaller your head will look. That's your training tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massive shoulders.
Training tip.
Because if somebody has a little pea-sized head and they have big shoulders, it looks worse.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a big dome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about that. We have to fucking walk around him. It's like its own orbit.
Gravity pull.
Yeah, it's got its own gravitational pull on it.
Who asked that question? Do I need to kick someone's ass? Like
I don't. They actually asked me here in the gym when I posted. I don't remember who it was though. But I mean, yeah. If you watch our YouTube, if you don't normally watch our YouTube, you should go watch it just so you can see the size of this fucking thing. Like last week, it was a side profile.
I know. And then this week will be dead on.
Yeah, like we have to adjust the lighting. It's a thing. The other question was a gym etiquette question, and it's about when someone takes a shit at the gym.
And you're looking at me again.
Yeah. If anybody's been to Omaha Barbell, which is the real Midwest mecca of strength in the Midwest, we don't have like group bathrooms that get awkward. We have all individual bathrooms. So there are certain bathrooms, in my opinion, you should not take a shit in, like the one that is right next to the powerlifting area.
That's a shit-free zone.
Yeah, you should not shit in that one. I should have just put like a urinal in there, but I didn't want to disclude the women because we have a lot of super strong women that come here and train powerlifting, so I didn't want to like discredit them. I also think that you should be aware of your surroundings. Like one of the other bathrooms, if there's somebody training right next to that one, maybe don't go fucking drop a heater in that one either.
I was in an awkward situation last week, so I won't poop in the powerlifting bathroom. And just for the record, I poop here every day.
He does.
Yeah, I drink my pre-workout when I leave my house. It's about a 30-minute drive here. Everything is moved well through my body by the time I get here. It's ready to go. But there's two kind of in the training area.
Yeah, back to back by the powerlifting one.
Yeah, there's one over there, and if someone's over there, like doing anything over there, I'll come over by your office to poop.
Yes.
But the other day they were both there, and I really try not to poop at the front one because I don't feel like that's a bad entrance to the gym.
But the
like if
front
someone
one,
walks in and they're like walking, like they're making their entrance, and then they are going to come past where I just like dropped a heater. Like I try and strategically poop in the morning. Like I'm not just an asshole about it.
yeah, and I think that's people need to be more aware of things.
Yeah. Okay, so the question was, do you leave the door shut?
With the fan on.
No. Do you leave the door open or shut, right? Open to air out or shut so no one goes in there?
Yeah, and here's the thing is, I think poop circulator fans used to be better.
I think if you leave the door shut,
You're just trapping poop in there.
yeah, you're just going to walk in there and get kicked in the chest with it.
So my personal opinion on this is that you leave it cracked.
Yes.
With the fan on. So some can escape and then some can be lifted out.
And then then you can know if you walk up there, you're like, ooh, obviously there was an issue here.
Yeah, because the other reason it goes,
the other one.
like you said, you either get kicked in the face or no one goes in that bathroom because they assume someone's in there. Then you have to do like the creepy, like slow turn on the handle to see if someone's in there.
Yeah.
And someone's in there and you make eye contact with her shitting.
I had that in our
Nothing worse than making eye contact with someone pushing out a turd.
in one of our very first training studios. A buddy of mine and I had. There was just him and I were the only trainers in there. It was like 870 square feet, and there was one bathroom. Right. So if you knew that your other trainer had a client and the bathroom door was closed, they were probably in there. Ultimately, my fault, but not a lot of people would lock the bathroom door because you would always know if the door is shut, there's someone in there.
Right.
So I'm in there just pooing. All of a sudden, they knock as they're opening the door. And it's just that awkward, you're sitting on the toilet and you look up at them and make like weird eye contact. And then they just shut the door and feel weird about it. And I'm like, why would you ever open the door as you're knocking?
I mean, you knock to announce yourself.
Yeah, as the door's opening.
Yeah, that's not proper knocking etiquette.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the proper etiquette, though, like you said, is cracked fan/light on.
Yeah. Then you know it's danger zone.
Yeah. Also, maybe just like throw in a courtesy flush in there.
Oh, I definitely courtesy flush. Just like right after the main event. Like there's secondary events that happen afterwards. But like the main event, like just hit the little flusher. And then I always even like you have toilet brushes. Like if I streak that
if you
thing
got a
out.
swirly, clean it up and clean the brush out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
All you have to do is shake the brush in the toilet water.
Yeah, I have all of our bathrooms have plungers and toilet brushes because I have a rule of my own that if I'm anywhere in a public place and I clog the toilet and there's a plunger, I am 100% fine plunging my own shit.
Yes, I created this mess. I will clean it.
Yes, if you don't have a plunger, that is your fault.
Yes.
When we were in Mexico, I clogged the toilet every day we were there.
Were you flushing toilet paper? Want you to?
They didn't have a sign about not flushing toilet paper at that one. And that same guy would show up every day to plunge the toilet. And the worst part is he had this bike he would ride and it had a plunger holster on the side. So after he would plunge the toilet, he would put it back in his holster which would be plunger side up, handle side down.
Ugh.
Poop water.
Just running down.
Oh, that's
Yes.
a fucking poor design.
And, every time, you give him a little tip and you're like, gracias. And he's like, my pleasure. And I was like, is it?
Doubt it.
Is it your pleasure well, I guess that $1, that's a lot of pesos.
Yeah.
The dollar to peso ratio is wealth.
Yeah. Did you increase your tip as the week went on? Because
No.
I feel like after day 3, they should have at least doubled.
No, because I feel like it's not my problem. If you leave a plunger there, I'd take care of it myself.
Did you ask me to leave the plunger there?
I think that was the only one at the resort.
Oh,
based on his bicycle setup.
yeah.
I feel like it was the only one at the resort.
Like that was his job, was the plunger, and he just
Yeah, there's a little wood box on the back of the bike too, but I don't know what that was for.
that should have been the plunger.
Yeah, I should have had a bucket in there. Yeah. But yeah, there's courtesies to things that people, I think, there's a lot of etiquettes in gyms and public places that people don't have. I could have a bunch of those. Like, how about you stop riding on my fucking equipment? Like, I don't care how many sets you do. This isn't across. Stop fucking riding on my equipment. You ride on the floor. They ride on the boxes. They ride on the racks.
I see, yeah.
Stop it. No matter where you're at. If it's not your house, how would you like it if I was in the parking lot, say, doing a CrossFit workout, Tanner and I are, and I took a screwdriver and I carved a fucking tally mark into your car
Right.
for every set? Stop doing that.
Do you know what would be really funny?
To throw a fucking weight through somebody's window that does that?
That would be funny, but also you and me doing a CrossFit workout in a
Yeah.
parking lot.
I don't even, after I said it, I don't even know why I thought that. If Tanner and I were hanging out in the parking lot.
Doing sets of 1.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pet peeve of a public place. It's also put your things away. It's not yours. And if you do treat your house like shit, treat a public place better.
Yeah.
Like, that is also a common
What do
courtesy.
they write on the equipment with? Just chalk or what?
They write chalk, but if you write chalk on the rubber mats, like, it doesn't just come out. That's like a couple times mopping, or you gotta like scrub the shit out of it to get it off. They'll write on the plyo boxes. They'll write on the fucking monoliths. Like, stop it. It's
Get
not
a fucking notepad.
Yeah, it's not yours. I don't write on shit, and it's mine.
when I have to keep track of sets, because sometimes you get lost. Like, I understand.
I get the theory, but
Yeah.
like Chris said, have a fucking piece of scratch paper.
Or everyone has a phone.
I have a phone on the app on the timer. Like, when you touch the screen, it just adds a rep, so you can just keep track of your freaking reps. Just tap the screen.
Or you know what? I would rather you come up and ask me for a sticky note and a pen.
Yeah.
And then, another move, throw the sticky note away when you're done with it. Like, just pick up after yourself. It's not that hard. If you use ammonia tabs, throw them away when you're done with them.
Yeah, don't leave them on the floor.
Yeah. If you get a weight out, put it back where you got it. You know where it came from. You got it out.
How many times do I ask you in the mornings, how many weights are supposed to be on this? Because this is off.
Yeah. And I have like a weird weight OCD of how I organize things here. I get it. But that is to make it more convenient for everybody else.
Yeah.
To have the same amount of plates on everything for people to use, so you don't have to walk around. When I worked at 24-Hour Fitness, all the 45s would be on like one rack all the way across the gym. And you have to walk over and get them. Also, don't leave your weights on stuff. No one wants your shit.
Yeah.
Especially the hundreds. That is rude. These are all etiquette things. Just like in the bathroom here, another bathroom etiquette. If you have a piece of toilet paper fall on the floor, pick it up. It's your toilet paper. It's probably not dirty.
No.
If you throw a paper towel and miss the trash can, pick it up. Unless the trash can is overflowing, which ours are never overflowing. I've been to places where it's overflowing. I still try to sit on top. If it falls off, I'm like, well, this isn't my fucking deal. Like, it's full.
Yeah, I've made the effort.
Yeah, I tried. But like, put in some effort. Like, don't be a lazy piece of shit.
I will
Always
say
put your
this is-
shopping cart in the return too.
Oh, those people.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
I think there was a study that shows that if you don't return your shopping cart, you're like a horrible person.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, especially if
I
it's
think
like a parking lot's a hill and it rolls into somebody's car.
Yeah.
I've seen that shit happen before.
I have a good story about this, but Brett will be mad at me if I say it on the podcast. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
In my hometown, we had a Pomida, which I don't even think Pomida's around anymore. I don't
Is
think.
that like a hinky dinky?
Was it a
more
hinky
like
dink?
a Tractor Supply kind of
No.
place? No.
No, it's like a super, super, super shitty Walmart. Like
Okay.
just, yeah, I don't know what you call those. But the
Walmart.
parking lot was a fucking
Walmart?
Yeah. Yeah. The parking lot was a straight ass hill, and people would just like So when you take stuff out to your car, you had to like kind of like fucking position it or hold on to it. They just let go of their car. You just see a car just fucking shooting across the parking lot right into the side of somebody's car. And if I saw that happen, I would kick your fucking door in if you hit my car.
Yeah, I saw a guy that was doing YouTube stuff, and he would hang out in parking lots.
Oh, dude, I saw that guy. The
You see that guy?
shopping
Yeah,
cart police.
He fucking comes up and he's like, "Hey," he moves the shopping cart behind their car. "Hey, I put that for you. You should put that back." And people get so mad.
And it'd be there, wasn't it their cart? He would just
it was
put it
their
behind
cart.
their cart. Yeah.
They would leave it next. They would put it somewhere not in the return, obviously, and he'd put it behind their car before they started to back
And
out.
they'd be like, "What do you like, the fucking shopping cart police?" And he's like, "Yeah." Yeah, like it's all etiquette is all the same. You know, whether it's like, you know, leaving the door cracked after you take a shit, putting
Put your
things
shopping
away,
cart back.
put your shopping cart back, like being a good human. Like that's simple. You didn't have to interact with people to be a good human that way. Like that's all simple stuff.
Or if you take something from a store and you decide you don't want it, don't just put it back at the next place that you're at.
Yeah, I was talking about somebody the other day because the worst.
We were at Shields, and I had one of those big hats. And the lady's like, "Oh, I'll take that." And I was like, "No, I'll put it back."
Yeah.
Because I went to go show the wives.
Yeah, and then that lady and I were talking, and I was like, that fucking pisses me off at the grocery store, and especially when somebody will have like meat from the cooler, and then they'll just like set
it
it
with the
next to the
chips.
Triscuits and be like,
Yeah.
I decided I don't want it.
Yeah.
And that lady's like, that's why I don't know if I should buy meat from grocery stores. I was like, I don't know where else you're going to go. That's the only hunting I do because I've always been 100% successful at the grocery store. But yeah, put things back, you know, crack the door when you shit, pick up your toilet paper.
Yeah. Just be a good person.
Yeah, just be, if you're sitting
Don't
here,
litter. Littering pisses me off. And I'm not some like environmentalist, but like if you're,
where are you at on spitting gum out the window?
it's gum. I don't like it because like if you want to throw, like if you had like a piece of a banana and you throw out the window, I don't think that's big of a deal.
Yeah, food. Yeah.
Right.
Gum
But
is
the-
bad to me too. That they've banned it at some airports.
And I'm an asshole because I
Because-
spit gum out the window. Not that often, but I spit gum out the window sometimes.
If you look
I
at the
under-
city,
yeah.
like large cities, like at the corners,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
covered
don't they
in
stick
gum.
them on the walls? That in France have that wall of gum or something like that? Where's that at? They have like
I think that is somewhere that's disgusting.
yeah. Yeah, no, the
But
littering is kind of.
I hate littering. Like just throw your shit away.
Do you think smokers should be charged with littering?
Like butts, those are
Yeah.
bad.
No, I know. I think.
Yeah.
I
Like
think
you have it. You like.
I
well,
have a
do
story
they
about
even
that
have-
too that I'll tell you off the podcast.
They probably don't put ashtrays in cars anymore, do they?
I don't know. You might be able to order it actually, but I don't think. They
I think
do.
you have to order them.
Yeah, but you could always use like a can or something.
Cup holder ashtray. You
Yeah.
know,
I
I want
something
the one
like
you clip
that,
on your
right?
window, like back in the day. You just clip on the window and ash in it.
Yeah. Same with the cup holder, window cup holders.
Yeah, back when your parents would smoke in the car with the windows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Hot
days.
boxing.
Yeah, those days.
I remember. So I was with my dad, my uncle, and my cousin. We were all golfing at a family reunion, and you know we get back in the middle. It's in the fucking country, back at the house. They live on a farm, and me and my cousin are in the back. My dad and my uncle are hammered, and that's just the way it rolled in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a girl I went to high school with. They had just gone school shopping and they were on their way back to Harlan, and like her dad like flicked a cigarette out the window and it like fucking, I don't know if their trunk wasn't shut all the way, like they had too much shit, and it fucking blew in the trunk, started on fire.
Oh God.
Oh, that'll learn you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I hate littering. Littering is just laziness to me.
yeah, and littering I also include as things you let fall on the gym floor and don't pick up.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, just pick your
If
shit
you're
up.
pulling something out of your pocket and a bunch of shit falls out of your pocket, pick it up.
Yeah.
Don't chew your fingernails and spit them on the floor. That's gross too.
That is gross. You're on the ground doing something, you look over and like, tons of somebody else's fingernails.
Yeah. Ooh, almost got skin.
Bless you.
But yeah, that pooping question really led to just being a good human,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is also the same thing. If you see someone lifting here at the gym, don't shit right next to where they're at.
Right.
So, yeah, that was our quick little Q&A. I think we're going to start doing these each week. We'll add as like a little second episode.
We don't have any other questions? Comes in?
I actually did have one thing. So we talked a few weeks ago about the difference with hyperplasia and hypertrophy.
Yes.
So some more research on it, and apparently hyperplasia is more of a theory than actually proven. But they have done some studies on animals, and I want your opinion on this because it counteracts my what I would thought of intuitively. So they put weights on chicken wings, on chicken's wings, every day for 28 days.
Do they increase the weight?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll look at the study, but they did it for 28 days, and the chicken increased the amount of muscle fibers it had over 28 days.
Did it get bigger?
It increased. I don't know if it got bigger or not. I know it increased the number of muscle fibers. It was just on the muscle fiber thing. It was a hyperplasia thing.
No, I know, because but that's what we're talking about. Was a way to keep, by training at maximal loads, was the way to keep your weight down but still get stronger.
Yeah,
by
so-
not gaining size.
Yeah, so that's why I was a little thrown off that it was something that was done repetitively, like not just one rep, but like
It was always on the
it
chicken.
was always on the chicken over 28 days, and they gained muscle fibers. Now, it's really hard to do in humans because they would have to do muscle biopsies to figure it out. And that either needs to be done on a cadaver or you'd have to volunteer, and it sounds painful. Like, no one's going to I'm not letting anyone do a muscle biopsy.
How do you pick like the least muscular animal you can find to do on a fucking to do this study on?
I think they've done some stuff on rats, but I think it was just a chicken because it had wings. They could like attach things easier.
Yeah, why not just get some humans and make them wear like wrist weights?
Because they have to do a muscle biopsy. So the other studies they've done on
Yeah,
humans,
there's plenty of people who are real fucking looking for money.
dude, muscle biopsy sounds fucking terrible. Like they had,
But the other thing is, most people want to get paid for doing studies.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And
yeah.
then I'm sure there's not a lot of money in seeing if you gain muscle off wearing weights.
right, but in on muscle biopsies, like your muscle fiber isn't the whole length of your muscle, so it's in like portions. So depending on where you cut out the biopsy can change. So they did studies on like bodybuilders versus like sedentary people, and bodybuilders had more muscle fibers, but maybe they're bodybuilders because they had more muscle fibers. Like they maybe they chose bodybuilding because they were already predisposed to that. It's impossible to know.
Yeah, and I think probably the people they're testing are people who are already, like you said, like gifted
Yeah.
at what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, that when you train someone with like maximal effort stuff, they won't necessarily put on size, but they'll gain strength. So if the muscle's not getting bigger in size,
Yeah.
how is it getting stronger?
Okay, but is that something to do with your mind? Because your mind tells your muscle when to stop. Is it like it's the Golgi tendon organ that sends the signal to your brain that says, "Hey, you're going to break something. Stop." So is that just a mind muscle thing, or is that actual muscle fibers? I would guess that's a mind muscle thing.
Well, I don't know, because you've seen somebody who like squats and they're coming halfway up and then they just stop. Yeah, I don't know if it's a nervous system react. They just don't have any strength to keep moving it.
Or their muscle says you're going to snap.
I don't know. I feel like that's different.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about the Golgi tendon organ, like when you stretch, you have to hold the stretch for 30 to 45 seconds to stimulate that reaction for that to stop inhibiting you so you can stretch.
But if you had, if someone here, if like something super heavy fell on somebody, there's someone that isn't strong enough to pick that up, that if they had that adrenaline rush could pick it up. So that's your brain. That to me, that's like your brain.
So you're saying your brain's limiting you on what your actual potential is by what you think.
I think your brain is a big part of it. I just wish I knew the difference between brain and increasing muscle fibers. But there's really no good way to figure it out.
Like, does it all go down to like the mind-muscle connection, like you're talking about with
Yeah.
bodybuilding? Like you're like trying to get that pump.
Well, but you look at like,
But when you're moving strength, right? When you're doing strength, you're not thinking about that. You're just like fast, power, boom,
Anyone who isn't watching on YouTube right now, switch over to this part because Chris gave a great demonstration
Yeah,
about that.
like you're like
It's
just like eyes
zoom in
closed,
on his face.
And then
Yeah, it's pretty.
But when you're doing powerlifting or you're just trying to, train for strength, you're not like sitting there in the moment thinking about it. You're just thinking, oh man, I hope I don't die here. And you just get it off and you just, fire it up. And there's a lot less thought that goes into it. So I think that's why, like what you're saying, if you don't think about it as much and your mind isn't connected to your muscles as much, I think there is a big part of that goes into it. You're not going to grow your muscles. You're just worried about strength. For how many years have people been talking about that bodybuild mind-muscle connections, like a big part of it?
What I was going to say is, if anybody's ever been to or worked with Special Olympics lifters, a lot of the times I don't know that there is that. A lot of us, the mind muscle connection is a fear of getting hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of like the Special Olympics, there's a fear receptor in there. Like Matt knew a guy that worked with a kid, and the kid was like super strong deadlifter, and his mom was like, well, I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to get hurt. So like they worked up to a weight, and he was like, no, my mom told me not to do it because I don't want to get hurt. And then she was like, no, it's okay, you can do it. And he just went over and picked it up. So actually, I think working like some of the Special Olympics kids who maybe don't have that, like that, maybe the mind muscle, the fear of it, would be an interesting to see, do a study on them with the hyperplasia versus, you know what I mean? Because which I think is awesome with those guys. They have like no inhibition. They're just like, okay, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
That's cool. He told me I could, and he believes in me, so I'll do it.
But how many, like even Tom here, like if Tom's like benching, if he wants to see what his bench is, he does it in kilo plates because he doesn't know what the weight is.
Oh, that's with training anybody. If you're working with somebody and you don't just tell them what the weight is, you just keep putting change plates on so they can't add it as fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think there is something it was subconsciously or consciously with our brain that is holding us back.
Oh, I think the power of positive thinking is a massive thing. Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, I don't know if you'll ever get the right answer of the hyperplasia versus hypertrophy. Like,
No, it would be a very hard study to do.
yeah. So I'm just going to go with it. It's real.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it worked on a chicken.
Yeah. It's real to me.
So what if we just like walked around with like a 30-pound weight vest on?
But then you're eventually going to stop getting stronger. It's like if you walk this same
Accommodating
mile.
resistance.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Because if you walk this same mile every single day without changing anything, you get no benefits after a while.
But if you so if you were,
That's the old SAID principle, right? The specific adaptation to impose demands on your body. Like, you know, like Louis Simmons always said, once your body has the answer, you got to change the questions.
okay, so let's just say you every 2 weeks you increase the weight on said weight.
Now you're just doing progressive overload.
Yeah. But do you think just
But it's
something
more
like
of
that?
It's more of repetition.
Yes. But do you think something like that, because of the chicken experiment, would actually increase the number of muscle fibers you have? Because your body's like, oh, we need more muscle fibers. This person's weighing more.
I don't know, because then you get into the time under tension thing. Because in a max effort exercise, you're only doing 1 rep, time under tension, you're done.
Yep.
Whereas like if you're doing walking or like bodybuilding, you're doing higher rep, longer periods of time. That chicken is under load for the entire day.
Right, and
So that's more of a muscle exhaustion. That's more of your anaerobic, or your aerobic threshold versus your anaerobic threshold of your muscle.
But it increased the number of muscle fibers, the number of, not the size of, the number.
And I think that's also going to be part of, as you get stronger, it takes less oxygen demand because you require less muscle fibers to do a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first time you ever deadlift 300 pounds, it takes way more muscle fibers than the 100th time you deadlift 300 pounds because you're more efficient. And so maybe that's a version of like kind of the hyperplasia, just how your body utilizes it. I don't know. It's a real brain buster.
Yeah, it was just one of those rabbit holes I got down that.
But it was a good follow up. Let the people know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you got anything to add to that?
No. I'm just thinking about it now, but
got
I don't have anything to add to it.
He's got no hyperplasia at all, so it's fine. he just runs.
Hey, how many miles are you up to, Chris?
I haven't ran it all this week. I took a week off. I mean, you mean like how many do I run a week?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean 3. I usually run. One day I'll run 3 miles. One day I'll run 2 miles. It just depends. I kind of go off of how I'm feeling that day. If I'm gonna once I start running, if I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good, I'll run 3
Self-regulating.
more miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
The goal, like I said, is 5 miles in 40 minutes. That's
8
the
minute
goal.
mile? It's pretty
Yeah,
solid.
that's for I'm old, so yeah. And I'm not good at running. I've never been good at
I
running.
think I did like 40 miles in 40 minutes in my truck.
40 minutes.
Yeah, never been good at running. So
You had me questioning you for a second, then you said my truck. So.
Yes.
yeah, we'll see.
Like, what did Mike say? He could run a
45 seconds and a 400 meter in 45 seconds.
Yeah, in a minute 45.
Yeah, he's a filthy liar, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, that video he sent us.
Well, he just kept saying he could do it.
No,
did he?
not a fucking chance.
No, not even.
I will bet I own.
It's not a lot, but it's something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got to prove it now.
Well, he moved, so he's out.
Yeah, but that's why we have phones. He can film it.
CGI. All right, guys. We appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe, follow. We're gonna try and keep this going a couple of weeks just to get some more great information out there. We just want to educate and entertain and keep it real with you guys. We'll see you next time.